Hey, welcome back. Welcome to another stream, part 2, on the same day. I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for joining me. We had a little bit of glitch, but now we're back. Hi, Sayan, how are you? Hi, Akash, again. Aziuddin, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me again. Um, I have tested that we are live everywhere, so we're gonna be good. All right, so what are we talking about today? We have been building a agent for the last like 3-4 weeks, and we're gonna continue working on that today. Um, Yesterday, if you joined, you remember that we were building. We were testing the app to see what is breaking, and we were also testing the robustness of our responses, of our prompts, and the responses that AI gives us. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so on the left is our code so far, and on the right is our application. Of course, something is broken right now, don't worry about that. I have fixed a little bit of stuff, and so I'll walk you through what we're gonna do today. So if I open our to-do page, you'll see in season 4 what we want to do is background music is very loud. Okay, let me put this down all the way almost. Okay, this might be better. I think the background music is not loud. I am very low. My voice is very low. But okay, I got it. Thank you, Azimuddin. Oh wait, no, I don't want this. All right, so we're gonna build a tool that parses subjective text. Um, Subjective text kind of is not very descriptive, but basically what I mean from that is subjective text to quantifiable information. What I mean is parse things like fun neighborhood into proximity to restaurants, bars, things to do, etc. So that'll just help us like understand what we need to look for when somebody says things like, oh, I want like a good neighborhood. Yesterday I also find out that you can literally just search in Zillow API using the neighborhood that you're in. So for example, if you're in downtown Seattle, you could say something like downtown and it'll give you, or if you're in Queen Anne, which is also a neighborhood in Seattle, it'll tell you, you can send that to the Zillow API, which is good for us because that means that we don't need to worry about zip code so much. We can just send like more kind of like approximate information, which is good. And then what else we're gonna do? We're gonna create a proximity tool that uses an address and gives a proximity score, such as walk score. Walk score, if you're not familiar with this, is basically, I'll show you. Walk score is you put an address here. So for example, if you put like downtown Vancouver, let's say, and you search it, so it'll tell you what is the walk score, as in how easy it is to walk around everywhere. What is the transit score, which is how easy it is to like get to commute from there, and bike score, how bikeable is it. So a high score would mean that this is very livable area, as in you can walk everywhere, there's lots of restaurants, lots of things to do. It says most errands can be accomplished on foot. You can like take transit, and you don't really need a car to live there. So from a perspective of renting, this is a very good area, which means because you don't need a car, you don't need a lot to live there, and there's lots to do. Whereas if you were looking for like suburban area, I'm gonna look for like Linwood, just cause, which is the suburb that I live in. So you see the walk score is 54, which is kind of low. It says somewhat walkable. Some errands can be accomplished on foot, and the bike score is 49. right? So that means that you need a car to kind of live there. And so for somebody who is young and wants to like go travel, like wants to go to restaurants, this may not be a really good place. So it's more for like families. It kind of sucks. Hi, little Shaki. How are you? That is a cute emoji. I hope the background music is not too loud. If it is, please let me know. Okay, so let's get started. And you see already, okay, I'm gonna quit all of my windows so I don't have a ton open. All right. Good. How about you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Actually, if you're joining me live, let me know in the chat where you're joining me from, what time it is there. London 6:27. Wow. Almost the end of workday. Actually, end of workday for you. Alrighty, so here's what we're doing. Let's go back to our app. I'm gonna reload this app, and if you see here, let's actually start off today with like let's make this slate clean and let's make it free of errors. So we're gonna start off there. We're gonna go through all of these issues that we were seeing yesterday, which is like when you load a page, it's not there. The recommendation properties, if you remember yesterday, it wasn't there. So we're gonna get rid of all of those errors. I'm gonna start off at a clean slate so that we can now add our agents to it. Akash Gupta, Delhi 10:57, Anjali, India 10:57. Nice, thank you for joining me at the end of your day almost. And also, if you have any questions while we're doing this, just know that I will be looking at the chat pretty regularly, so feel free to post your questions in the chat. Okay, with that, let's get started. So first of all, why do I have this issue? Cannot read properties of length. Where is that coming from? Reload this. Cannot read properties of undefined. Oh, go back. It's coming from, it's coming from initial data actually. So what happens is we have this infinite query observer, which is here. We're using React query, and then for initial data, we're supplying it like a blank thing. And so if I rule this out and I give this a reload, so that works. And why that was giving an error is because I'm sending initial data of empty to my like components downstream, and they are trying to render the page, but there's nothing in the data. So let's go ahead and fix that. So basically on initial data, I'll show initial data as well is a React query. Initial query data. Okay. There are many ways to supply initial data for a query to the cache before you need it. You can provide a query to pre-populate. Initial data would be like a blank list of to-dos or initial to-dos. Using initial data to pre-populate a query. There may be times when you already have the initial data for a query available on your app, and so you can provide it directly. And initial data from cache. Okay, so basically the idea behind initial data is that you have already like data that you may have, like you already might have some properties that you want to show, so you just pass them on. For my case, I don't have properties that I want to show in the beginning. I could, but what I want is that I want to start off with like an empty slate. So then if I get rid of this initial data, because I don't have a list of properties yet, I do get this error, which is all data ref.current.slice is not a function, and that is actually coming from this get next page param. So I need a way to like provide empty data. So let's see, where is this? It's right here. If page param is 0, all data ref.current.slice is this. And then what I could do is if all data, let's actually console log what's in all data ref when the page just loads. Hey Anas, welcome back. How are you? All right, so all data ref.current is z.oneof is not a function. Oh, wait, where's that coming from? Z, oh, I know, yesterday I added that. z.oneof is not a function. Alrighty, z one off. Oh, you know what? I think it is one off, capital OF. Okay, now if I reload that, what do I get back? Okay, same error, but I see all data ref.current. Oh, z.oneof is not a function. Okay, something is wrong here. So in listing status, I'm giving it a literal of for sale, for rent, or for sale or rent. And then the default is for sale. So basically I want to define like 3 things that this listing status can be. So let's look that up. Zod. Oh, wait, what? This is not even, what? Oh, AI wrote this code for me and it probably messed it up. Oh, maybe I can create an enum actually. All right, so zod.enum is this, and then this is going to be, is in Zod native way to declare a schema with a fixed set of allowable string values. That's what I need. Let's create an enum. So listing status zod dot enum, and then I just need to provide, it's the same thing. Use the enum property, perfect. Salmon, tuna, trout. So I can just give it a string. I don't know why it added a literal. Sometimes AI does like too many things. So when your code is written by AI, make sure you're testing it, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so enum for sale, for rent, for sale or rent. Let's try this. And then all I need to do is, can I provide a default? I should be able to provide a default. Okay, let's try this. Hey Neil, Sovik, how are you? Yeah, I can write my test too. I know, right? Write my test, test it for me. Okay, that was good. So all data.ref now actually has some data in it. Perfect. So that was the problem. Now, what we did was basically we removed one off, which was actually not part of Zod. I don't know why AI wrote that. Sometimes AI writes wrong code, so just test it. Enum for sale, for rent, for sale or rent. So basically that's the kind of properties that we're looking for. Is it for sale? Is it for rent? Or is the user not interested in like for sale or rent? Like they don't care. So it could be either. And then the default is for sale, so which means that if a user is looking for a property and if they haven't defined anything, we just give it a default of for sale. And then the way we describe this is we say if the user is looking for a property for rent, then return for rent. The reason I have this way is because that's what the API is looking for, like for underscore rent. So I just want to keep it as close to the API as possible. If the user is looking for a property for sale, then return for sale. If the user is looking for a property for rent or sale, then return for sale or rent. If nothing is passed, then return for sale. And that's my default. So I haven't tested this so far. So let's go ahead and test this. There are some other errors as well. We're gonna fix this, but let's test this real quick. Harshit, are all night. Are aaj night. I think it means are you right? I don't know what that means. Okay, still an error. Let's actually check what's going on. I've seen that error before as well, and that is not good. So now if I reload, I feel like that happens on the very first try when nothing is fetched yet. Okay, alldata.ref has some properties. And then what we should do is also that when we actually call this alldata.ref.slice, we should check if alldata.ref exists. So if alldata.ref.current.length is equal to 0, or let's just say if alldata.current does not exist, then return just return. Okay, so if page parameter is 0, which means we're on the first page, and then if nothing is in the ref, which means we don't have data yet, then just return empty or just return. So that means we won't be sending back anything in. We could actually send an empty array. Let's just return because this is gonna give us undefined, and then we're gonna see some errors. What stack are you using for this project? Oh, great question. So I'll show you. I think I've written this down in the readme. Okay, this is the stack. We're using Convex. We're using Express as a backend server. And then the stack, I don't know if I wrote, oh, here it is. So front end is React, Vite, Tailwind, Tanstack, Tanstack Router. Backend, we're also using Tanstack Query. Backend is, and Zushtan, of course, for state management. Okay, backend is Express, Node, Convex, LangChain, and OpenAI. LangChain and LangForm, LangGraph. Everything that I'm gonna share the GitHub for this as well if you want to check out the code. What is the data source? The data source is actually Zillow API, which is the real estate app in US. We are using Rapid API, which helps us get data from Zillow because Zillow doesn't have an open interface. So this is the endpoint that we're using, which is going to be by property address. This is the exact endpoint we're using. Property address api.js by address, this one, search/by address, and this is in Rapid API. Recognize half of those words. GitHub link would be cool. Yes, the GitHub link is there. Let me also pin this in the chat. I see that you are on Twitch, so hopefully you got that text, but I've also pinned this in YouTube. Okay. Alrighty, let's go. So now we have added a all data ref dot test, like all data ref length, and if that all data ref is not present, then we should not be getting an error, hopefully. But let's test that. I think that was in app.jsx. Your Zillow API key got leaked. Oh, really? I'll change the. I'll change it. Okay, so let's test this. If all data ref.current doesn't exist, then we want to return. So let's actually test this. And at this point, I'm going to say all data ref.current is equal to no. Because if the data didn't exist, and that's what this would be. So let's test that real quick. If I give it a reload, it's reloading. Okay, cannot destructure property of undefined as it is undefined. And now it also gives me this thing that you should add an error component. So let's actually add that. I'm going to add that at the top of my app. And then who's calling my app? Alrighty. I'm going to add error component here. Error boundary. And I think error boundary probably accepts like a component as well. Okay, so it says you got error boundary. How do you use it? This is not what I was looking for, bro. Okay, anyways. Alright, so error boundary comes from this. You just add, oh, there it is, fallback. That's what we need. So let's add that fallback. And this will just show an error when something goes wrong. Otherwise, our app displays properly. So that'll take care of this warning. So now if I reload. Okay, so now I'm seeing my error, which is good. Alright, so what is the problem? Now the problem is okay, cannot destructure property of undefined as it is undefined, and that is coming from app.jsx, and that is right here. Properties are pages dot this property card. So basically the problem is that we're not having proper boundary check. So let's go ahead and add that. And this is going to be in properties listings, which is here. So we're gonna say if properties exist, then we want to add this. And where's properties coming from? Okay, that's what properties is. It's just this data. This. Cannot destructure property. Oh, parse properties also give a 500. Kaizen, how's it going? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Alright, so let's go ahead and fix what's going on. I think the problem is that um, I think the problem is again on destructuring. So when I see this here, one, I have a 500 here. I shouldn't be having a 500. Then I have a problem with the recommendations. Let's not even worry about recommendations. But I think the biggest problem coming is from where is it? I think the biggest problem is actually this function. Dark Soul, how are you? Let's go. I know, long time no see. Where have you been? How's it going? Alright, let's reload this. My app just died on me. It's like I have had enough. Come on, bro, let's go. I still have internet. Okay, npm run dev. Don't die on me yet. What happened? Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened. Okay, cool. So we've got that error back again. Let's go ahead and fix this. Okay, cannot destructure property of undefined as it is undefined. Let's go ahead and see what's the one causing the problem. Okay, this is coming from properties.pages. So I'm going to log what's in properties.pages. And my function is here. I'm going to log console log. Or I could just add like a breakpoint here. And then if I reload this, let's see what's going on. Okay, what's in properties? Properties has pages. Pages is undefined. Okay, this is the problem. You see, we were looking for properties.pages, but like we were looking for properties.length. Properties does have something, so that is going to pass. But then properties.pages.flat does not have anything. So that's what we need to test for. So let's go ahead and add properties.pages. And then I'm going to add conditional operator as well. Properties.pages. Properties.pages. Actually, let's do this. Length greater than 0. And that will take care of this. So the length is actually 0. But if I check for length greater than 0, and now if I give it a reload, let's see what I have. Properties.pages.length. Oh, this actually passed. Because the length is greater than 1. Oh, because it has one item. Okay. Dot flat dot length. What's the value in flat dot length? Are you with Slack? This is my first week outside of Slack. So I am fully independent. I have quit my 9 to 5 to be a full time content creator. Yes, made a job move. Went from a 9 to 5 to being my own boss. I'm loving it. It's my third day. I've been creating content for like almost 4 months now. And so I realized that this is something that I find a lot of joy in. I think I can help a lot more people if I'm independent. And what I really liked was helping people and teaching people and creating videos. Um, I think one of the videos that I made, which was on React interview, a lot of people said that this is um, uh, the best explanation they've had. And there was another video on, I think, promises or events or something, that people said this was the best video they've ever seen, and this topic finally clicked. And I was like, that's what I want. I want to be able to like explain a topic to somebody and it just like clicks for them. And I can't do that while being at work. I could, but it's just a lot of work, and I could not help people. I could not help as many people as I wanted to at work. And then when I was looking for jobs, I also noticed that I kept looking for places that would allow me to, do my YouTube thing, that would give me the time to do YouTube thing, and then they would give me the time to speak at conferences. So I was like, well, actually what I need is like this other thing. I don't really want to work 9 to 5. I don't really want this corporate job. So maybe I should try being on my own for a while. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So freelancing now. Yes, I'm actually freelancing now. Um, I wouldn't say that I'm a freelancer because I guess I'm not taking I'm not taking company projects. I'm building content. So I'm working with a bunch of different companies and open source projects to help build resources and content and tutorials for them. So I'm a full-time content creator, and I'm so excited. You don't have to be jealous, little Shaki. You can actually quit your job too. I think before you quit your job, there's a lot of decisions that needs to be made. Like there's a lot of, um, oh, you made a job move. Oh, tell me more. Where did you move? German-based org. Oh, nice. So where are you based right now, Kaizen? It's a big one. Oh, is it a car company? No, I need the money. I know. I think that's one of the biggest things of like quitting 9 to 5, which is you do let go of that stable paycheck. So one thing that I recommend is leaving your like 9 to 5 stable paycheck. Um, so I totally get it. Oh, you're in Pune. Nice. Alrighty, let's see. The freaking error is still here. Okay, so we're loading, and then we actually still check for properties.flat. But then what's in properties.pages.flat? What is the value? Properties.pages is this. But then if I go to my console and I check for what's in properties.pages.flat, and then I'm gonna check the length, right? What is the length? The length is 1. Why is the length 1? The length should not be 1. That means the way that we're sending our data back is not correct. So let's fix that. Where's the data coming from? How is Convex, LangChain, and OpenAI working together? Um, I actually had like put up a diagram together. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is it. I'm actually going to create this. Let me put this here for now. I will add it in the repo as well, but for now, let's look at this. So this is my this is my professional looking architecture. Ignore the fact that this is in Keynote, but this is how we're doing. Okay, so this app actually talks about the state management. We built this app in one of our live streams as well, but what I wanted to show is how the data is flowing. I think this will be helpful in understanding how these kind of work together. So this is your UI, right? The UI looks a little bit different right now, but this is the UI. So the user types in something like, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house in the UI, and then what we do is this red boundary kind of shows client side versus state server side. So we send this text over to our backend API/parse properties in natural language. And then the LLM API converts that natural language into JSON, which you might see that we are actually getting like here. This is what the API is sending me. This is the console log from the API. It gives me back a JSON, and then I send it over to my Zillow API. This blue thing is a background, is the backend. I should write backend here. And this is OpenAI. All right. So then we send that like JSON over to our Zillow API, and then the Zillow API then gives us back like a list of properties. The structure kind of looks like this. It has a Zillow property ID, bedroom, street address, features, things like that. Then we send this data over to our client side, and in the store, which is where we're storing this information in the cache, which we are using React Query for, this is what we're storing in the React Query. So when the page loads, and sometimes you'll see that we have properties, it's because it's coming from the client state store. Now the Convex, the Convex's role here is that we have this backend that has API/save property, right? So when we click on save, you'll see that we have a place where we can save the property as well. And this is again OpenAI. We have this recommendation engine which we built to generate embeddings, and we're doing this because we want to test like how similar our properties with each other. So when we like a property, which you might see in the UI, we have like a like button like this one. We actually store that in our database, and then using that we figure out like if you like another property, how similar is it to the properties that you've already liked. And so if we see that there are properties that are very similar, we'll show you a recommendation list and we'll say we think you like this properties. And Convex is helping us not only store the data, but also give us a score, which you might have seen yesterday, a score of how similar two properties are to each other. And the reason we're doing this is, let's say that if you like a property in downtown, and we think that you might like another property in downtown, so we'll show you both of those properties together. That's what the recommendation properties component is doing. So that's where Convex comes in. Convex also provides us vector database and functions on top of vector database. So for example, the embeddings function, which is kind of like a vector search, that's what Convex is providing for us as well. And so the reason why we're doing this is because we're putting our data into Convex and we're building an agent on top of it, which is going to be able to retrieve information from Convex for the properties that we have, and then use that to show us a list of apartments that match our preferences. Alright, I don't know why properties.pages has a length of 1 when actually it should have when it has properties.pages and it's actually undefined. I think it's probably the way that I'm sending this data back in here, so that is probably this one, return undefined. I'm I'm gonna add a block in here as well. Take properties from natural language. This right here. I'm gonna add this here. I'm gonna add this here, and then I'm also gonna check what it returns. So reload this page. Move this to the side. Alright. So where are we? We are on page param equals 0, and what is the value we get? Page param is 0 if all data.ref.current. What is the value in all data.ref? All data.ref is, where is the value? It is null. Okay, so if it's null, we just return, and then the total displayed is pages.flat.length. So what's the value in there? Pages total displayed is 1. Pages is undefined. So why does pages have an array that is undefined? It should just be undefined. So let's see where that's coming from. Query function is get properties from natural language. What do we return in here? I think this might be the problem. Return pages.length, which would be 1. Okay, let's go back in and check why this is returning an array with undefined. It should just return undefined. You said there's some advice, then lacked out from me. But I'll assume it was something incredibly motivating. Oh, what I think the advice that I was giving was before you quit your 9 to 5, make sure that you have like a good supply of funds in your savings. Because it's possible that once you leave your 9 to 5, you likely will not have something that is stable as your 9 to 5 paycheck. So make sure that you can account for those months of times when you won't be able to break even with your costs and expenses and your income. So I only quit my job when I felt that I had enough to survive by myself, even if I don't make a single dime in the next like 6 months. A nice buffer, yeah. You are pro in using debugger. Thank you. I think, yeah, thank you. I forget to use it, the debugger, but when I use it, I realize it's so much more helpful than the console logs. Thanks for explaining that. Though for Convex to provide the recommendation score, is it required to specify the parameters like price, etc.? I can actually show you that code. It's again it's all in the GitHub repo, but I'll show you. This is where is the Convex? I think it's in Convex. Of course, I've forgotten where the code lives now. Recommendations, recommended properties, generate recommendations. Oh, there it is. Similar properties. Okay, so this is how we generate a recommendation. So we say the filter fields is in order to like specify how one element is one property is same with another, you can provide something like filter fields. So it does have price, yes, but it also has bedrooms, bathrooms, and nice to haves. And the reason why I'm giving bedrooms and bathrooms is because if you're looking for like a 3-bedroom place, you don't want to see something that is like 10 bedrooms, right? Even though the price might be similar. So that's why we've got bedrooms and bathrooms. And then nice to haves is like, it seems that if you like front yard and backyard and swimming pool and things like that, you would also want to see other properties that have those things. Console log for the win. Team console log. That should be a t-shirt. Team console log. And so this is the convex function that helps us generate embeddings. This is the OpenAI function that helps us generate embeddings function. This comes from OpenAI. And then this ctx.vector search, this is a convex function that helps us do search based on the vector of that property. So what we do is when we store this property in the database, we're actually storing its vector, and then or like so it's embedding, and then when we test it or when we search it, we are doing a vector search based on those vector embeddings that we've stored. So it's easier to search them. Okay, what were we doing? Right. Checking why is it undefined in an array. Okay, where was that? I think this might be the problem. If pagefram is 0, if all data.ref is current, let's see what this returns. Ten on 10 would buy. Maybe I'll make that t-shirt. I have a lot of like cute design ideas for t-shirts. Things like git push force. May the git force be with you. I have stickers as well that I usually give out in conferences, and so I was thinking I'll make some t-shirts. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. And then I was thinking there could be a t-shirt that says front end in the top, in the front, and then back end in the back. And then there could be a hat that says secure your headers. You're nulling all data ref before checking if it is null. Yeah, the reason I'm nulling this is because I want to check, like I'm trying to reproduce this bug. Okay, I totally lost my chain of thought. So let's reload. Reload this. Okay, so we are here. I don't know why there's a debugger here. If pagefram is equal to 0, which I bet it is. And then we say all data.ref dot current. All data.ref dot current is not present, which for us it won't be because we have null, we have it set to null. Return. So what do we return at this point? I'm gonna log like and then when we actually call this, I'm also gonna log that there, which is gonna be get properties from next language query function, and then what do we get in data? And then total displayed is, so what do we get back? Pages is undefined. Okay, this is where it's coming back. So that's where it comes back. So that means that this might be why is it giving back as a, I don't know. Let's return, I don't know. I'm gonna return 1 just because I wanna check something. T-shirt ideas. Let's try this again. So now I've got return 1, and I just want to check like where is that undefined coming from. I have a feeling it's right here. So now if I look at this, last page is 1. What is in pages? Oh yeah, that's where it is. So pages now has 1. So this is actually coming in from here. What I could do is instead of returning like an empty array, I should return a empty object. And I think that will just make the life of the downstream component easier as well. Let's try that. So I got this. Now when I come back in here, I've got pages with an array of 0. All right, so let's fix that. Close this. And now I'm gonna return an object with what is the properties that I expect. So we've got properties that page is flat, length is greater to 0, and then Okay, what makes sense for a property? Hmm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if there's nothing present, I'm going to return null, and then I'm going to make my downstream component understand that instead of like giving it an empty object. I don't like the idea of giving it an empty object because that kind of makes the app hard to refactor. So let's give it an empty array, or was it null? Let's give it a null, right? And then once we have basically, which means is that pages would have something like this, an array with null. Now what I'm trying to find out is why it actually returns an array, but I know that it does. I'm into Angular for now, new tech stack. Oh, okay. I think most of the stuff that I'm talking about will be applicable for Angular as well. It's just the way we are rendering in React. We're not really doing much with React in here. It's just for rendering, like it's just rendering the component. It's not doing anything heavy. Okay, so please suggest me for Angular. What do you need suggestions with? I think whatever I'm doing can be applicable to Angular as well. Alrighty, so then we've got properties.pages.flat, length is greater than 0. Let's also debug this again. Okay, so I return null, which means pages.flat has an empty array with null inside it. Now what is the value of total displayed? Is 1 because pages is null. What's the value of pages.flat? Hey C Films, how are you? I am doing good. Thank you for asking. Welcome to this stream. I see this is your first time. As I have worked on React, so not finding that difficult with Angular, just new way of writing things and also to follow some code guidelines. Just new way of writing things and also to follow some code guidelines. I see. So what do you need help with, Kaizen? Why are you doing flat? I'm doing flat because when the data comes back, it's within arrays, but I need it to be able to flatten it out so I can render it on the page. I think it'll make more sense when all data.ref is not empty. So that's why I'm doing flat. I'm a knowledge and enthusiast on movies and TV. What is your favorite movie? Okay, so properties dot pages dot flat dot length greater than 0. I just want to do properties dot pages. What is in properties dot pages? Properties dot pages pages dot flat. Okay, we've got that, and then pages dot length, handle, submit, play this. Now when it comes in here, it's got properties dot pages dot flat, which is gonna be properties pages, and it has just the item is just null, and then the length is 1. So you know what? We can test for length equal greater than 1. But then what happens if let's clean this up because I don't like having this flat everywhere. So we get properties from natural language, and then I think in the query function we've got this pages, and what I want to do is basically const the first rule of blank is you do not talk about blank. Nice. I like that mood too. Okay. Property. Render properties equals thanks for following C Films. It's so hard to focus on the stream though. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Okay, uh, let's test this. Get properties. And then inside get properties, I'm gonna get something pages dot flat. What's the problem here? Cannot read property of undefined. Okay. All right. Okay, loader. I don't need that. Play. The properties that pages dot flat. Let's see what's in here. Okay, but reduced data is empty. So if reduced data doesn't exist, return null. What is the value that I see in here? Reduced data is dot length. If reduced data dot length is empty, return null. And now if I reload this, and then if I go through this again, okay, get properties, what is the value we get back? Reduce data, this, reduce data dot length, return null. So we're gonna return null. So that basically means that we won't be rendering any of this, right? Because get properties returns back there we go, sweet. Okay, that fixed the error. So we don't have any error anymore. The problem was actually basically why we were seeing that weird error was because our data is kind of looking weird. So it had an array that had basically like null inside it. And when I'm checking for null for this and I'm checking if the length exists, the length is true, right? Like because the length is 1 right now. So I can't get the null value out of it. And in order to do that, I just had to clean up the data a little bit. So that's what I'm doing in get properties function. That gets rid of the error. I still have a load more button at the bottom. And that is because has next page, and I'm just going to get properties dot length greater than 0. So that gets rid of this as well. Okay, now basically I have a clean slate. I know that it would be better to see like some things, but what I could do is I could say that if you don't have anything, I could say something like if get properties dot length is equal to 0, I could say something like search for a property to get started. Let's just do this to get started. Keep it simple. Okay, why am I not seeing anything? Get properties dot length is equal to 0. Inspect console. Have you heard of apartmental intelligence? What is apartmental intelligence? Thank you for subscribing, HNT. What is apartmental intelligence? Okay. Now if I reload this, I got this. Properties.pages, properties.pages.flat, pages.length. Okay, why am I not seeing my bottom thing? Get properties.length. Let's breakpoint on this. I'm gonna get rid of all of these other breakpoints because if I don't have anything in the properties, I should just show that get started to get going. So what do I see? Get properties.length has get properties.length is what do I get back from this? Console. Get properties. Get properties. What do I get back? Oh, I get null. And then what is the value of this? Cannot read properties of null. Okay. Let's do this. Get properties. If we don't have anything in get properties, then we want to show. Let's get started. All right. So now. Nice. So now I see search for a property to get started, which is what I need. Perfect. Of course, it doesn't look good, so we're just gonna make it look pretty. And then the heading, I'm gonna give it heading 2, class name. Alright, that's good enough for now. Apartmental intelligence is AI from apartments.com. Apartments.com. Oh my god, this looks just like my site. Apartments.com. Anyways, okay, cool. So that fixes the undefined error that I was getting. So let's go ahead and reset the app so that we're not setting null anymore. I'm gonna get rid of this and I'm gonna get rid of that. Hopefully everything should be fine. It does do a little loader before it says search for property to get started. And I think it might be doing that because in the beginning we are calling React query. Let's see. Ref.current. I think this might be the one that's causing that loader. So now if I open this up, inspect, console. Okay, what's in ref.current? Actually, it's trying to do something, right? So let's go ahead and test that as well. Bro. Okay, sources. Ref.current. This is going to be in get properties. I basically don't want to, I want it in a clean state so that there are no errors right now. So if I see any problem with the UI, I'm going to go ahead and fix that right now. Get properties from natural language. I have been trying to find ways to learn drag so much. I'm building a chatbot that is high school science knowledge based and only answers to that for students, but I'm finding it difficult. What are you finding difficult, Stoic? What is that you're having issue with? So what is the value of console.log ref.current? Ref.current should be console current is undefined. Okay, so basically if ref.current is undefined, we don't even want to like write anything. You know why? Because that means our input field is empty. So if our input field is empty, we don't need to write anything. Okay, let's see, what do we see? If ref.current is empty, which it would be, return, and then it's going into recommendations, we can get past that. There you go. Okay, much better. I think that loader is gone now. So now if I reload, there you go, much better. And the reason we were doing kind of like that loader is because we were still looking for ref.current and we were calling this like URL, even though we didn't have anything in the field in here. Now if I say looking for a 3-bedroom house, let's try this example search in Seattle, and now if I hit search, now it's gonna get started. Okay, still not showing anything, so let's see what's the problem. Current is null. My dog is snoring. Can you suggest me some resources? So tell me a little bit more, Stoic. Like, I think your app sounds like a really cool idea, but I'm curious, where is the problem that you're seeing? You said you're building a chatbot. Are you having issues with like the front end side? Are you having issues with the RAG? Tell me a little bit more about what is the problem you're seeing. And of course, I broke my app. Okay, let's see what's going on. I go back in here, reload this app. All right, ref.current is null. Okay, play this. Now I'm going to add something, and now if I search this, what is the value in ref.current? Ref.current is not null now. Good. I don't want it to be null. I'm going to watch this value. Ref.current. Okay, search input has some data, good. Then response data is this, and then if ref.current, again, it's checking for null. Now I'm gonna add this to my watch list. Can I watch? Add select to text to watches, good. I still don't see it here. Okay, URL is this. Page param is this. Await is this. Okay, so now it's got something. Where did it break? Attempting to use a disconnect. Okay, let's see. I think something is broken, so let's go back and check if all data left are current. No, otherwise slice this. So I'm gonna go in here in my sources. Oh no. Oh no, my app just broke. Alright. Try an example search. Inspect. Console. Sources. Okay, what am I doing? Right. Reload this. I'm gonna test why I'm not getting the data back. I think I might have broken something. So if I load this, go past this, get out of this, get out of that. Okay, all data.ref. This is what I want to see. And then what is the data that I get back from here? Okay, what's in all data.ref? I've got some info. Oh, I'm getting a 500. Status 500. So we'll see why we're getting a 500. Response data, status 500. Body is a readable stream, so I can't read that here. Okay, now I'm getting a 200. Weird. And then I think here I'm also going to test the value. So if I hit search again, play this. What's the value of get properties? Get properties still gives me back a null. Why is it giving me back a null? Get properties has what is this? Let's log a breakpoint in get properties. I've used React for one project. Nice. I think React is actually one of those libraries that is really good to have a comfort level in, because it is really good for getting a job. Alright, now if I hit the search button, try an example search, click on search. It's not really doing anything. I do get a 500 back from my... Let's see why are we getting this. So I see price ending, price starting, bathrooms, this is this. Invalid type of expected string received undefined, path, price ending. Okay, that's fine, we can fix that. It's probably coming from API. No, it's probably coming from LLM. I usually use vanilla HTML CSS and JavaScript. I think it's nice to, it's actually really beneficial to have one library that you feel comfortable with, in addition to HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So I always recommend React. Angular is great as well. Svelte is fine. Whatever you need, whatever library you like, I think React is a pretty good choice. So I would suggest on top of like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, pick one library of choice. And that is if you're looking for a job in the industry. If you're just like having fun, that's totally fine. You don't have to worry about another library. Okay, price ending. This is what the problem was. Return. This is actually a lot. I like the library Chart.js. Chart.js is nice, but Chart.js is not the same as React.js. Yeah, so it's actually just used for creating charts, right? Which is kind of like a graphic rendering library, which is different from React.js. Okay, let's try this again. Search for property to get started. Okay, I don't get back anything. Inspect, console. This is what happens when you fix one thing, something else breaks. Okay, value does not match validator. Search again. Search. I'm building a project same as Devin but better. The problem is AI hallucinate a lot now. I started learning about AI, but it feels like it will take longer than I expected. Can you suggest something? I think hallucination is actually a big problem with LLMs, and you're not going to get past that. So, what I would say is, and that's something that I'm doing in my app right now as well, build your app so that you are accounting for hallucinations and you're accounting for the errors that could pop up, because that is an important part of building AI application as well. It's not just the happy path. There is going to be happy path, which most times you will get into the happy path, but then the path where you hallucinate, or where you have wrong data come back, or where you have unexpected output come back, that's going to happen as well. And I would say embrace that so that your app is more robust, and that is an important part of building an AI application. Okay, alldata.ref.current does have property, which is good, which is what we need. Now, if page from is 0 and if alldata.ref.current does not have anything, which would not be true for us. Otherwise, we want to return some properties. Good. And then total displayed is this, alldata.ref, and total displayed greater than alldata.ref. No more pages. Pages.length. Play that. Why are we not getting properties still? I wonder if it's because where's my app JSX? I think it could be because of this get properties function. So let's see what's in app JSX. Search again, play. Okay, what's in get properties.length? Get properties.length is 0. Okay, play this. And then get properties.length is 0 again. And then get properties.length is 0 again. Okay, cannot read properties of null. Yeah. Get properties dot length. Interesting. Oh, you know what? This could be a problem. Okay, you know what the problem might be? The get properties function actually gives us back 0. Like the length of get properties is 0 every time. And that is why we're not getting properties back even when there are properties. And I think the problem might be in the way we're reducing this. So let's test this now. Play this through. Okay, what is the value of reduced data? Reduced data is properties.pages. Get into here. Play. Let's try this. Properties dot pages is that, right? And then if you flat it out, you've got 20 items. And then can you do a reduce on this? And then you can do item. This is what we're doing, right? Item. So then what do I get back? Const test equals this value. Okay, that is undefined. That is not what I want. Oh wait, I need this, and then I also need this. So what is the value of test? Test is not defined. I just define test. So this is the callback, and then this is this. Okay. Weird. Reduce. Okay, if there is no item, then array.push item. That's what we want. And that basically means that if I console log reduce data, if I do have some value in the reduced data, I should be able to see that value instead of seeing empty. Because the problem right now is that reduced data is empty, and that's why I'm returning null. So let's log this. Now basically what I'm going to check is if properties.pages dot flat has an array, then reduce it so that if the item exists, we push it back to the array. And that gives us back a reduced data array that does not have null items, right? Okay. Now if I look for something and then search it, let's see. Console, something probably came back. Array.push is not an item. Okay. Push accumulator. Start with an array. Why is it not an item? Oh my god. You know what? I'm sick of this. What is the meaning of double exclamation? Double exclamation. So if you have single exclamation, you're checking if the item is false, right? Double exclamation checks if the item actually exists. So it's better than single exclamation because you're making sure that the item does exist. It's good to know even retired programmers get stuck on bugs. I'm not retired. I'm an active programmer. What do you mean? My Visual Studio decided to die. My Visual Studio is like, you've had enough. You've coded for 2 hours. It's time to take a break. I'm gonna fix this bug and then I'm gonna take a break. Don't tell me when to take a break. I will tell you, freaking computers. Okay, where is my thingy? Okay, there we go. Retired on your millions is what you said earlier, I believe. I have nowhere close to millions. Nowhere. I have millions in confidence, and I think that's worth a lot more. A delusion. Okay, my app is having a moment. Meanwhile, let's chat with chat. How are you all? Delulu till you make it, right? It's the way. Delulu is the Silulu. What are you guys working on? What are you learning? What is something new that you've picked up this year? I would like to know. Diving into internals of everything. Nice. What are you diving into? Like what internals? React, front end, back end, like what are you doing? But WSL and Kotlin had other ideas, and I'm scared of React plus front end, so we'll see how it goes. Why are you scared of React and front end? Because I made a website with React and it nearly killed me. Oh no. Okay, here. There's a React course that I put together. I think you might find it useful. And the idea is that I help you create an app while learning the basics. Hopefully, this helps you. It has a lot of practical stuff that you need in React. So like helps you build a slideshow app, which is something that is getting asked in interviews a lot. So check that out. Currently, database is very overwhelming. Oh my god, yes, totally. Once you write something on databases, or like once you create a blog post on databases, let me know, Akash, because databases are hard. That stuff is hard. If you find something that you like, and if you're understanding it, definitely share it with the world. Hitesh, how's it going? Welcome back. So good to see you after such a long time. Hitesh, where are you in the world? Nick, how is it going? So good to see you, Nick. I just can't figure out how to motivate myself to actually focus and build. Tell me about it, Jacob. Tell me about it. This is the exact problem that I have. I find it really hard to like motivate myself to do anything outside of work. So, which is why I'm doing this live stream. This is just a way for me to stay accountable. So what I would recommend is get an accountability buddy. It helps a lot. I have an accountability buddy who helps me stay focused on content creation as well. So every day we have check-ins, and it makes it a lot easier to like stay motivated when you know that somebody's checking on you. It's the same as like working out in the gym. If you are going with a friend, it's a lot easier to stay motivated and actually go to the gym. If you're looking for an accountability buddy, our community, bit.ly/Shruti Discord, it's this link here. This link here. bit.ly/Shruti Discord, that's where the Discord community is. And you can come and join us, and it'll help you stay motivated. Or at least we'll try. Keep you accountable. Yash, I need help. What do you need help with, Yash? Nick, I saw your streams. How's that going? I'm in Buffalo, New York. Oh, gotcha. Missed some streams. Hope you had fun in Epic Web Conference. I had so much fun in Epic Web Conference. Time of my life. Really, really, really good conference. Lots of great people. Had a lot of fun. Okay, let's try an example search. Hit the search button. And then I wanted to log this console log. Look at that. It's just like giving up on me today. Okay, what is the problem again? Array.push is not a function. Oh yeah, I saw that. I totally ignored that. So I'm actually going to get inside this function and debug this function. All right. So reload this page. And then I don't need this. Play. Alrighty, so let's see. Right now the value is blank, shouldn't be a problem. If item and then array.push, okay. Alrighty, and now if I look for a property, let's try an example search. Oh my god, hold on. Okay, now let's search for a property, and then we'll see why array.push is not a function. So we've got this. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna do this then. I'm gonna add a conditional operator. Okay, let's check again. What should I do? Should I scale up in backend to get more opportunities in front end? I'm not getting a job, so I'm considering focusing on a full stack front end major. How does that sound? Oh, you sell out, this is your course. I only just realized. Should I scale up in backend to get more opportunities in front end? I think if you want to look for opportunities in front end, you need to be specialized in front end. Now there's companies that are looking for more full stack focused people, and for that you need to be able to design APIs, understand how to like send data, and understand how to create an API interface. Okay, I thought my stream died for a second. Yeah, so you need to understand how to create the API layer as well. Is the stream lagging or is it just me? I think there was like a glitch for a hot second. So you need to be able to understand how to create that backend layer, how to create that API layer, and how to create this application that can interface with the API, but also create that API as well. So yes, having some skills in backend would be really helpful if you're looking for a full stack role. However, there's a lot of front end roles as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for and what the job market is asking for right now. If you're looking for a more like junior level role, it is better to have a huge diversity in the skills that you have. So you might have specialization in React and front end or Angular, whatever, but it also helps to know backend a bit as well. Okay, I can see that there are some script frames, so I'm gonna go and reduce some bitrate. Okay, hopefully that fixes the stream. Alrighty, now I'm gonna play this array.push. Wait, actually could use filter. Dot filter. And you just give array item. Okay. I don't know how to do either and have a job. Being likable and problem solver, it helps load in the field. What do you mean? Being likable and problem solving helps loads in the field. With the increase of LLMs, how do you think someone should go about learning programming? Is it okay to rely on LLMs, or should we learn the fundamentals and then build something and use LLMs as fallback? Oh my god, I love this question. I love this question because this gets asked so much. If you are somebody who's planning to survive the field for the next 10, 20 years, if you're going in here for the long term, there's nothing that you can do that is better than learning fundamentals. Keep your fundamentals strong, regardless of where you are in the timeline of AI development / front-end, back-end, frameworks development. If you know your basics, if you know your fundamentals, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be able to survive the industry regardless of what comes, right? In the beginning of web, like 10 years ago, in the beginning of React and JavaScript, React and Angular, the biggest fundamental skills that people needed was learning JavaScript. And if you knew JavaScript, you can then move to Angular, you can move to React. That is still true to the date. If you know JavaScript, you can move to React, you can move to Angular. So your fundamental is strong, you have a good base. Now with the advent of LLMs and AI and vibe coding and no-code tools, that is still true. Why? Because you're going to be able to create an app from LLM and you've got the code with you, but if you don't understand what it wrote and your fundamentals are not strong and you don't know how to debug your app and you don't know where to find solutions, you're going to be stuck again. You can't let LLM write everything for you and then expect it to work and scale. At the end of the day, LLM is a tool for you and you're using it to create code and get it faster, get it shipped faster, but you still own that code and you still need to understand that code in order to maintain it and debug it. So what I would say is keep your fundamentals strong regardless of where you are in the industry. If you're in the back end, keep your back end fundamentals strong. If you're on the front end, keep your front end fundamentals strong, and then use other things as tools. Like frameworks are tools, libraries are tools, LLMs are tools. So I would say don't rely on LLMs, but learn the fundamentals and then build something. And use LLM as kind of like your polishing tool, right? Like right now, I actually have Augment AI code in this. I'm getting help from it a little bit, as in like maybe you need this conditional check, maybe you need to add this line of code. That is all I'm using the LLM for. I'm still creating the code. So I still understand what's going on in the app. So learn fundamentals and then use LLM as a tool. Exactly. I figured out problem in some growing products like Bolt, Visa, and I also want to share that with the team, but no one accepting my LinkedIn request. Is it good to share problems and product? I think it's good to share problems and product. I don't think LinkedIn is the right place to share problems with the product because the person that you're sharing request with may not have that kind of influence. When I work at Slack, people would always often send me like problems with Slack, and I don't have that kind of sphere of influence in Slack. Yes, I can take your request and send it over to the right team, but that is not my job, right? I am just helping the product get better. That is part of something that I'm doing outside of my job. But somebody's full-time job is actually to look at your requests and send it over to the right team. And that is the customer service people. And in order to be able to get in touch with them, you need to be able to contact them on the site's website. So I'm sure V0 has a feedback form, customer support form, whatever. That is the place you should be responding to. Also, another place to respond to this is Twitter, because that is also where the customer service folks are looking at. It's usually handled by their customer folks or people who are like outward in their community, in their company. So reach out that way. So yes, the idea is good. However, LinkedIn may not be the right place. You don't work at Slack anymore, or did I just mishear you? No, you're right, Nick. I left Slack. This is my third day of not being at a 9 to 5 job. I am fully independent and a full-time content creator now. I haven't officially announced it on Twitter and LinkedIn. This is my live streams is kind of the place where I've announced it first. I'm gonna do a formal announcement, like a big announcement on Twitter and LinkedIn later. But you are one of the first ones to know. I don't work at Slack anymore. I'm a full-time content creator. I'm full-time independent now. Okay, you know what? We've been going on for almost 2 hours. I really want to fix this bug before I call it a day. So let's go. Okay, why is it saying reduce data still? Because I don't have that. Play. Undo some breakpoints. Try an example search. Click on search. Search for a property to get started. Let's see what comes back from some errors. Nice. Parse properties has an array. Array.push is not a function. Dude, that's not even the code that I wrote. Come on, reload yourself. Auto save. Perfect. Okay, that was the problem actually. So looking great now. So I'll do a quick demo again. Okay, so like reload our app. Once we start our app, there's nothing in here. Good. But then if I click on try an example search and I hit search, now it'll start to search for a property, and then it shows me like a bunch of properties that match my request. Cool. It's looking great. Perfect. Let's take a pause here. Let's take a pause here. Tomorrow we're gonna come back and get going with the agentic work as well. Today we did a lot of like bug fixing, and we brought the app to a clean slate. Now it is working good. If you don't have a query when you just start off the page, it'll actually like have a clean slate. There won't be any properties loaded, but then if you start searching, it'll show you some properties. Tomorrow we're gonna come back and this is what we're doing tomorrow. We're gonna do this. We're gonna create a tool that parses subjective text to quantifiable information. So for example, if I say something like a good neighborhood, like a fun neighborhood, it's able to look that up and find it into things like, well, it should have restaurants, things like that. Honestly, right now, I have no idea how we're going to parse a subjective text into quantifiable information, because a user could say something bizarre like a hip neighborhood or like, I don't know, something like that. So we're going to dive into that tomorrow. I think there's going to be a lot of exploration, a lot of looking up documentation. It's going to be fun. It's going to be unknown for me. It's going to be unknown for you. I think we're going to have some fun with it. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Before we go, what do? We commit. Congrats at no longer being 9 to 5. Thank you, Nick. I call it my freedom day. I am a free bird. Gonna head out. Was a fun stream. Good luck with the bugs. See ya. Thank you, little Shaki. Alright, let's add this. Git add. Git commit. Nick, where are you based again? You're in Central time zone, are you? Clean slate. Git push. And I'm also gonna merge this back into git checkout main. I'm gonna git merge this branch in here. Season 4. And then I'm going to git push this. Montreal. Oh yeah, that's right. So this is you are in East Coast time, right? EST. Okay, cool. Let me make sure that the code is in there in case you want to check it out. Learning AI. Again, this is the GitHub repo. And 1 minute ago. Okay, sweet. Cool. Code is in here. And oh, people have made pull requests. Oh my god, clean up unused code moving to TS. Wow, awesome. Oh, I already saw this. Thank you so much for this. Alright folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're gonna take some subjective text into and convert that into quantifiable information that we can use as JSON. It's gonna be a lot of unknowns, but we're gonna get through this together. I will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST. Bye folks.